Okay, good evening, folks. I'm going to try this again. I thought I was trying to record on YouTube since I have been deleted from Facebook. I thought I'd give my thoughts about a certain subject today because of my suspension on Facebook from the communists who run that uh, uh, communist organization. And to let you know, to let my friends out there know, the reason I was suspended for the third time for 30 this time this time 30 days is because of a comment I made during or after right after the Super Bowl. I referred to the Philadelphia Eagles as Philly fags, and somebody, I think I have a good idea who reported me, and I will appropriately delete and block that little panty waist son of a bitch when I'm able to do so. When Facebook grants me, absolution and allows me back on their communistic network. So in the meantime, I'll just go to YouTube and speak my thoughts. It's a sad day in America when people in this country can't use simple language. You on fake news network CNN. Remember a few weeks ago when they said shithole on a national broadcast, live broadcast, shithole. They use vulgarity at least 200 times over a period of 2 or 3 days, and nothing happened to them. FCC didn't revoke their license. They didn't get fined. Why? I have no idea what they should have. I say Philly fags, and the communistic Facebook suspends me for 30 days. That's funny. That's okay. They're going to eventually delete me for good, which that's fine too, because I don't give a fuck. But nevertheless, you can you can't silence me. Okay, nobody will, nobody can, nobody will. You can try, but it's not going to happen. So you can go F your mother, Zuckerberg, you little pencil neck piece of shit motherfucker. And I'll be back, in due time. My thoughts today are regarding the sad event of the Chicago police commander Paul Bauer, who was shot and killed a few days ago, and today his funeral. They had his funeral today. I guess it was the first time a Chicago police officer died in line of duty since 2011. And what struck me and what honestly hurt me, what bothered me the most, I should say, is that he was 53 years old, 30 years on the job, and he's a district commander. And I just kept asking myself, why? Why are you still there? Why? I kept asking myself, why? I know there's a situation where, he's a district commander. He's not out on patrol. You're thinking, okay, I'm pretty much safe, uh, out of the, quote unquote line of fire. But you're never out of the line of fire when you wear a uniform and you have a radio on your hip, and it doesn't matter if you're the lowest deputy or lowest police officer, all the way up to the chain of command. Now, I know there are commanders out there that hide underneath their desk and never turn a radio on, but I think those are few and far between. I've experienced them in the department I worked on for 28 years, but those were the ones later on. When I first got on the sheriff's department in 1988, I worked for the best people that I could ever imagine. I mean, these individuals were ball busters. They did the job, and they treated you as a young man or woman coming up, and they treated you with respect. They didn't bust your balls or vaginas if you're a woman. if you just did your job and you didn't lie and you just, you could screw up and not make a major mistake, and they cover your ass for you. Those were great supervisors, and I'm sure Chicago, like this individual, he was beloved, and he made it to that to the as commander of a northern district. I can't remember what precinct, but again, 30 years on a job, 53 years old. You're not safe, okay, when you wear the uniform. It doesn't matter. If you got a uniform on and you got a radio and you care about the job that you do, you're not safe anytime, anywhere, any place. It doesn't matter. I know Chicago is the worst, but it doesn't matter where you're at. Okay? It doesn't matter where you're at anymore. And this gentleman, this officer, this commander, this human being was actually, during that day, I guess he was on going to some type of training, and obviously just about to get off, or was getting off, and here's the radio call for these other officers in need of assistance because they're chasing somebody, and he reacts because that's his job, even as a commander. And he dies. And it's sad. And then you have assholes as they're escorting this motherfucker. The police officers are escorting this no good cocksucker to court through the I don't know if it was through the Cook County Jail or if it was through a local precinct. If Chicago still had him, I don't know if Chicago still had this individual. I think it was in the Chicago Police District Station, and there was a cage with caged animals who were locked up, and they're clapping as this motherfucker walks by. I would have dropped a fucking grenade in that cage and blow up every one of them motherfuckers. It's sick. It's sick what these motherfuckers think of law enforcement and first responders and this country. And I plead to those out there still working, if you have the time and you have the age, it's time to go. It's just time to go. You know, it's because it can happen anytime, any place, anywhere. Nobody is safe in uniform anymore. Nobody is safe wearing a radio. It doesn't matter. These fucking evil bastards out there, they don't care. They just don't care. So I wish, I pray for the repose of his soul. I pray for his widow and his young daughter that he left behind. I pray for CPD, Chicago PD, and it just makes me so sad to see this unfold, and to see this cocksucker, four-time fucking felon, still on the fucking street because everything is in Crook County. This motherfucker should have been in prison the rest of his life 2 felonies ago. He's a violent criminal. And you wonder why Chicago PD or anybody else, you wonder why things occur. You wonder why these guys don't take the fucking chance to wait for these cocksuckers to kill them. I'm telling you. That's the reason why. You either kill them first or they're going to kill you. That's the way it is. And I'm not talking about race. I'm talking about criminals in general. When you're talking about a violent criminal, and you don't know, and that's the thing, you don't know half the time what you're up against, or more than half the time. But in this case, it was a radio call for attack unit chasing a suspect who fitted the description of an armed robber or a drug, It doesn't matter. The sad thing is, this cocksucker is a 4-time felon, 4-time convicted felon in possession of a weapon, walking the streets. 4-time felon. You get a fucking 2 DUIs and you spend 2 years in prison. To my fellow law enforcement comrades out there, if you got the time and you got the age, go. Leave. To my fellow comrades out there who are still wearing the uniform and don't have the time and don't have the age, be safe. Have your head on a swivel. Keep yourself in shape. And go home at the end of your shift. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. I'll see you folks again at a later date. And like I said, Facebook, fuck Facebook. But I'll be back on there in a few weeks. And we'll see. I'm sure it won't be long before I get deleted for good. That's fine too. But they're not going to silence me. Nobody will. Stay safe, America. And I got plenty of things to say about this whole Russia bullshit that's happened over the last 2 weeks. All the new indictments and all the bullshit. But today it was about Commander Bauer of Chicago PD. So God bless his soul, his family, his friends, and the Chicago Police Department. And may this motherfucker that did this criminal act, may he rot in hell. May he burn at the stake when his judgment day comes. Good night, everybody.